But do remember the question tonight is it possible to replace the divisive electoral mode of government with a consensual public service system where government ministries are responsible for undertaking development and service delivery? And joining me to have this conversation virtually is Esther Waringa, that is the President of Public Service Governance. I'm very excited, and of course do keep the conversation going. The SMS line is 21144, GBS TV Africa, in all our social media handles. Esther Waringa, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, viewers. I'm glad to be on GBS TV.
Thank you so much. And of course, we are very happy to have you here, and of course taking time out of your busy schedule and joining us. Now, just to kickstart with our conversation, I do have a release of one of the suggestions that you did make, and of course you're calling for a Kenya without elections. Now, in your recommendation, you say you want a Kenya that without elections. Considering the factors, how possible is this?
Thank you very much. I think the country is preparing itself to the most progressive electoral reforms. And I must say that what has a beginning has an end. Since independence time, Kenya has been governed through elected representation. But a time has come when elections is not making up any sense in this country. What elections is doing is only tearing the Republic of Kenya apart. Socially, economically, politically, the country is going down the drain. And when we get to this level of governance, we must think out of the box. And that's why we are proposing a new system of government that will see a pure public service system of government coming on board. And I must say that we must engage positive mindset on this, because sometimes when new ideas are prompted, it's like, where has it worked? Is it going to work in our country? Yes, it will. We tried M-Pesa. Today it is being adopted by world G20 powerful nations. Therefore, Kenya will establish the public service system of government as the first country around the world to prompt such a system of government. Allow me to quickly take Kenyans through how the system will work. Today, the president of the judiciary is not elected. We never saw Mother Koome, who is the current president of the judiciary, or the former predecessors, presidents of the judiciary, going into political campaign. But they were taken through a vetting and appointment process. Therefore, what we are recommending is the total overhaul of Chapter 7 of the Constitution of Kenya on the representation of the people. That, look, we can do away with the electoral process that has been dividing this country, that has been tearing this country apart. The most expensive system, the most expensive activity of government that really tears the economy apart. This is what we are going through as a country. So we can run away completely, and we can abolish the electoral system completely and adopt a vetting and appointment process. It's very possible. It's happening with the judiciary today. Therefore, it's very possible to vet the CEO or the President of the Republic of Kenya. And I, as the President of PSG, together with the PSG fraternity countrywide, we don't envisage another election in the country. Kenyans, 2 years before elections and about 2 years after elections, the country goes through tough economic times like what we're experiencing. The country goes through division. The country goes through hatred. Hate speech is all over. How do we tame this? And not only for 2 minutes, but a sustainable, lasting solution. The most sustainable and lasting solutions will be to establish a new public system of government without election. We are talking about electoral commission, and right now a committee has been formed so that they can oversee the incoming of the next electoral commission. This has been there, and we have been talking about these electoral commission reforms since the Kivuitu time, the ECK times. Now we had Isaac Hassan. They said he was the problem. And again now, Chebukati is the problem. Even the one who will come after Chebukati will be said to be the problem. So what is the most sustainable solution then? It is to do away with elections. As a country, we have been saying that we would like to do free and fair elections. In 2007, before 2007, we said we are looking forward to a free and fair election during the year 2007-2008. Did we get it? No. And again, 2013, did we get a free and fair elections? 2022, we kept on singing the song. We are looking forward to a free and fair elections. It has never happened. Even 2027, it will not happen. This is something that has been repeated over time. And that is why we are saying, can we sit back as Kenyans? Can we evaluate our systems of government and governance? Is it possible now to bring in something new? Because when something is stinking, when something has lost its fragrance, when something has lost its value, then we have no business hanging on it. In fact, elections is wasting our time as a country that we should be focusing on the cost of living. We shouldn't be discussing now that the Electoral Commission reforms. No, we should be discussing on how we are going to get unga at 70, sugar at 70, rice, and cooking gas. But now, elections 2027 is already heating up the country. Who is gonna win in 2027? So, ladies and gentlemen, the Republic of Kenya, it is time to pause as a country. It is time now to embrace what we are bringing, the Kenya Bila Uchaguzi Bill. And I know because Wanjiko wants to go to the farm and take care of her farm produce. Wanjiko wants to go to the market and see if she can be able to earn a meal a day. Wanjiko wants to take her child to school without any political interference. Wanjiko wants a peaceful nation, but we can never, ever realize a peaceful nation when violence has become a 5-year repeated activity over a 5-year.
Honorable Esther.
Yes, please.
Maybe you can hold on that point. There's an issue here. Kenya is a democratic country. Elections alone are insufficient for democracy. However, they are nevertheless a necessity. This is because they promote political participation and competition needed for democracy. Is it failure or absence of elections that define dictatorship?
I'm not sure. If we look at it from a very positive point of view, I'm not sure it's bringing dictatorship. Let me ask you a question. Today, we don't elect the president of the judiciary. She is vetted. Is she dictating Kenyans? I don't think so. I'm very sure that, let me give you another example, that today in corporate world, we don't elect leaders. For example, we have not elected a leader in Equity Bank or the CEO of Safaricom. They were not elected. They were vetted and appointed. And today, Equity Bank is the most progressive bank in Africa. Do we call that dictatorship? No. It is the way you view it. It is the way you take it. And I am sure that we are going to ensure that we establish an oversight authority that is going to employ checks on balances on the public service system of government, so that it will not be, but I'm not sure that it will be a dictatorship regime, no, or a dictatorship process or system. I'm not sure. If today the judiciary is not dictating because they were vetted, then how come that the CEO of the country, being vetted appointment, will be a dictator? And let us remember also that this president will also be guided by a set of laws, rules, and constitutional regulations that you cannot go beyond this point. As a president, you must be able to govern in the most integrity way, in a way that you bring Kenyans together and as one peaceful nation. And I want to believe that actually, because we will not have divisive politics, we will do away with political parties. Then unity, national cohesion and integration will be the order of the day. In fact, such kind of a president will govern in the most peaceful environment ever. And I'm not sure even where dictatorship will come from. It is just the way you view it. So we look forward to a very progressive nation through the public service system of government. And this will enhance efficiency. This will reduce the wage bill of government. Today, the wage bill is so huge. And we are continuing to create a huger wage bill. This is very unfortunate for the country. Therefore, the public service system will ensure that we reduce on the government wage bill. For that also, we are careful. We become good stewards of the retro taxation that we get from the people of Kenya. For now, the taxes that people are paying, I think now people are preparing for election 2027 instead of focusing on socio-economic development on this nation. Therefore, we must change this system. Kenyans, we are bringing the bill. Soon we will have the signature correction online of the Kenya Bila Uchaguzi bill by the end of this week, probably. Please sign the bill into law so that we can, as a country, focus on development 24/7.
Of course, you have talked a lot about the positivity of the same. Now, periodic elections help solve the problem of succession in leadership and, of course, contribute to constituting to democracy. Now, in your suggestion of the people that are going to be invited, of course, you did say that a panelist, what is going to help make sure to solve this problem of succession in leadership?
Very well. We have been having chaos when we talk of succession of presidency and leadership in the Republic of Kenya. Kenyans, we are bringing you to another dispensation where you will forget about violence as a way of birthing the country's leadership. Why? Did we experience any violence when the Chief Justice was being vetted and appointed into position? No. Did we experience violence when maybe like the CEO of Equity or the CEO of Safaricom, the CEO of Kenya Airways is being vetted and appointed into leadership? No. But because the electoral process is highly competitive, it's a position that subjects people to spend a lot of money, a lot of time, and actually it fuels corruption. Because where do you get 4 billion? You know, as I was running for president sometime.
Yes,
and somebody told me, Madam President, if you don't have 4 billion, forget about the position. That 4 billion is not even the money that you are going to earn as a salary when you are seated as a president, when you obtain that seat as a president. So it fuels corruption. Therefore, I must say that we are about to experience the most peaceful transition, governance transition system of government. Because when the CEO of a country is being vetted, the only thing that Kenyans have to do, prepare your papers very well, your CV, your resume and everything else, submit to the governing body. Like, for example, the Chief Justice is vetted by the JSC. We are going to establish an organ that will be called the Governing Council, the Kenyan Government Governing Council, that will oversight the vetting of the country's president. All that you have to do, Kenyans, is to submit your application that I would like to be the 6th president of the Republic of Kenya. Once you submit your applications, you are taken through a very vigorous vetting process, like we have seen in the judiciary. After that, you'll be appointed into presidency. Of course, with a term limit. After you perform very well, your term limit, you will apply again, reapply again, at least for a second term. Once you are done with your second term, the constitutional provision that we are going to provide, the laws will stipulate very clearly that we will not need a person to be on a third term. Therefore, when such kind of a vetting process is put in place, there will be no chaos. In fact, Kenyans will be waiting very eagerly. And I must put it very clearly, even in the respective jurisdiction areas, like for example, the county, to get a governor of a county, you submit your application to the Public Service Commission in that particular county. You are vetted, you are appointed. That county public service commission, that public service organ at the county level, public service board, that's what we call them. The public service board at the county level will vet even the members of the constituency representation and ward representation. That kind of a structure you don't see any election anywhere in the country.
Honorable
And it's
Waringa,
going to work, my dear
Honorable
Kenyans.
Honorable Waringa, Honorable Waringa, maybe you could hold on, maybe you could just hold on that point for a minute, because my director is telling me time is not on our side. And even,
Right.
yes, and even as you give us your parting shot, we are working
Yes.
towards what I see here in your release. You're working towards having a Kenya without elections. But in order to have these, there's a lot of things that need to change. There is the constitution. There is just the Kenyans themselves. A lot of things have to change. Why not
Yes.
work towards giving recommendations of polls that are free and fair, instead of all these that need a lot of changes to happen? And even as you give that answer, please do it briefly and also give your parting shot.
Okay, very well. I must say that this will be a very smooth referendum process. And number one, I must say that this is very possible. The Kenya Bila Uchaguzi bill is very possible, and it's going through IBC because it's a popular initiative. And once IBC clears to go to the county assembly, I'm sure the county assemblies will pass this bill. Why? Because it's not about themselves. It's about the people of Kenya. It's not political. It's not about who belongs where. It's about birthing a new system that will bring sustainable, peaceful, sustainable development in the Republic of Kenya. So my parting shot, where there is a will, there is a way. Now, there is a will that we bring to an end violence in Kenya. There is a will that we bring to an end politically instigated divisions in this country. There is a will that we end tribalism in this country. There is a will that we now focus on sustainable development. If we have to go that way, we must do away with divisive, tribalistic, expensive elections in the Republic of Kenya. And until it is done, the public service governance, we are not giving up, but we will ensure that we will not have elections 2027, but the country will focus on development 24/7. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us and, of course, making time and joining us here. That was our President of the Public Service Governance, Esther Waringa, and, of course, having heard it from the expert, keep the SMSs coming in through our SMS line 21144, GBS TV Africa in all our social media handles. And, of course, do make sure to tell us your opinions on the same. Tell us, is it possible to replace the divisive electoral mode of government with a consensual public service system where the government ministries are responsible for undertaking development and service delivery? The SMS line is 21144, GBS TV Africa in all our social media handles. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.